Have you ever felt like something about life on Earth just doesn't add up? Like you were born into a system that was already set up before you even got here. Rules, laws, limitations, and structures that seem more designed to control you than to free you? Why do so many people feel this deep sense of not belonging, this unshakable intuition that life here is somehow off? Some call it the Matrix. Some call it Maya, the illusion. And others, they go even further. They say Earth is not just a school, not just a playground, not just a battlefield of light and dark, but a prison planet. Today, we're going to explore this controversial, fascinating, and mysterious idea. Is Earth really a prison planet? And if it is, who built the prison, who runs it, and more importantly, how do we break free? Stay tuned, because this is not just about theories or conspiracies. This is about you, your soul, your freedom, and your destiny. And before we dive deep into the cosmic rabbit hole, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Mystic 11, and turn on notifications, because we are building a community of truth seekers who dare to ask the questions most people are too afraid to even whisper. Let's be real, at some point in life, you've probably felt it. That nagging sensation like the world is rigged against you. Think about it, you're born into a family you didn't choose. You go to schools that teach you everything except who you truly are. You're told what to believe, what to fear, what to dream, and even what's possible for your life. Then comes the endless cycle: work, bills, debt, stress, distractions, and the slow erosion of your spirit under the weight of responsibilities you never asked for. Doesn't it feel suspiciously like a prison system? Except instead of metal bars, the walls are invisible, made of fear, programming, and limitation. Is this just the human condition, or is it by design? Believe it or not, the idea of Earth being a prison isn't new. Ancient traditions, mystics, and philosophers have whispered about it for thousands of years. The Gnostics, early spiritual seekers, believed the material world was a kind of cosmic trap. They spoke of Archons, parasitic entities that feed on human energy, keeping souls locked in cycles of suffering and reincarnation. The Hindus spoke of samsara, the endless wheel of birth and death, where souls keep reincarnating, unable to escape the illusion of the material world unless they awaken. Even Plato once compared human life to prisoners trapped in a cave, only able to see shadows on the wall, mistaking them for reality. And think about religion. Almost every tradition talks about some form of fall, some kind of exile, separation, or punishment that humanity suffers. Could these all be different ways of pointing to the same truth, that Earth, as beautiful as it is, might not be the paradise we think, but a kind of holding cell? Now let's zoom into modern life. If this really is a prison, what are the bars? Money. You're born into a system where survival requires chasing pieces of paper or numbers on a screen. Without them, you can't eat, drink, or shelter yourself. Time. Your life is chopped up into hours, days, deadlines, work shifts. Time becomes a leash around your neck. Education. You're taught history written by the victors, science with missing pieces, and a worldview that discourages questions about consciousness and spirit. Media. Constant distractions, fear-based news, and entertainment designed to numb you, not free you. Technology. A double-edged sword, yes, it connects us, but it also monitors, manipulates, and conditions us. Does this sound like freedom, or a cleverly designed system of control? Here's where it gets even more intriguing. Some researchers, mystics, and experiencers say Earth isn't just a prison, it's an energy farm. Every time you feel fear, anger, despair, or hopelessness, that energy doesn't just vanish. It's food for the unseen forces, the Archons, the parasites, whatever name you want to give them. Think about it. Why does society constantly pump us with fear, division, war, poverty, disease, and endless conflict? Because a fearful, hopeless, divided humanity is a farm producing endless energy for its invisible masters. You're not just locked in a cell, you're being drained while you're in it. Now, you might say, this all sounds wild, but where's the proof? Good question. Well, look around. Why are we the only species that pays to live on a planet that was freely given? Why do near-death experiences often describe a light that tries to pull souls back into reincarnation? Some believe that light isn't heaven, it's the recycling center of the prison. Why does every ancient culture talk about entities or gods demanding sacrifice, worship, or obedience? Coincidence? Or clues left behind? But let's pause for a second. What if the prison isn't just outside of us, it's inside of us. Fear, doubt, guilt, shame, limiting beliefs, all of these are like mental guards keeping us from realizing our true power. You don't need metal chains if people's minds are already locked. And that's exactly what we see today. Billions of people walking around with invisible chains, never questioning, never awakening, never breaking free. So maybe the real question isn't, is Earth a prison planet? Maybe it's, have we allowed ourselves to be prisoners of our own unawareness? Now, here's the hope. Even if Earth is a prison, every prison has a key. What's the key? Knowledge, awareness, inner awakening. When you realize you are not just the body, not just the mind, but a timeless soul, the game changes. When you meditate, raise your vibration, reclaim your energy, and stop feeding the parasites of fear, you begin to break the chains. When you question the system, when you refuse to let consumerism, media, and fear control you, you're already stepping out of the prison yard. And when enough of us awaken, the prison itself collapses. Now, let's shift gears for a moment. We've been talking about Earth as a prison, but what if we're looking at it the wrong way? What if Earth isn't just a prison, it's a school of the soul? Think about it, every great teacher gives their students challenges, puzzles, and even hardships, not to punish them, but to sharpen their minds and expand their understanding. Could it be that the struggles we face on this planet are not chains meant to enslave us, but lessons meant to evolve us? Let me ask you, would you really grow without challenges? Would you develop courage without fear? Would you discover compassion without suffering? Would you appreciate freedom without first knowing what it feels like to be trapped? In other words, maybe Earth is the ultimate classroom, where every heartbreak, every disappointment, every limitation, every moment of joy and pain is part of a carefully designed curriculum for your soul's evolution. The soul's training ground. Some spiritual traditions call Earth the hardest school in the universe. They say that souls actually line up for the chance to incarnate here, not because it's easy, but because it's one of the fastest ways to grow. Think about it like this, in a video game, would you choose the easiest level with no challenges? Probably not, you'd get bored quickly. The fun comes from testing your skills against obstacles. In the same way, maybe your soul chose Earth because of its intensity. The suffering, the beauty, the pain, the joy, it all forces you to awaken. It pushes you to remember who you really are. Earth is a planet of duality. Light and dark, good and evil, love and fear, life and death. Why? Because duality teaches contrast. You can't understand light if you've never seen darkness. You can't truly value peace until you've tasted chaos. Every moment you spend here is a lesson in contrast, an invitation to rise above polarity and find balance in the middle. So maybe, just maybe, what we call a prison is actually a school teaching us how to transcend duality and return to unity. At the end of the day, whether Earth is a prison or a school comes down to one thing: choice. You see, two people can live the exact same life, same city, same struggles, same obstacles, and yet one will feel trapped, hopeless, and beaten down, while the other will rise, grow, and awaken. What's the difference? Choice. The choice of how you see yourself. The choice of how you respond to challenges. The choice of whether you remain asleep in the system, or awaken to your true power. The illusion of no choice. Now, the system, the so-called prison, tries to convince you that you don't have a choice. It whispers in your ear every day, just work your job, pay your bills, don't ask questions. Stay in line, fit in, follow the rules, obey the program. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You always have a choice. Even if you can't control what happens to you, you can always choose how you interpret it, how you respond to it, and what you make of it. And that choice alone is what separates the prisoner from the graduate. So let me ask you, are you living like a prisoner? Do you let fear, doubt, and distraction run your life? Do you wake up every day just going through the motions, waiting for someone else to save you? Or are you living like a seeker? Do you question? Do you search? Do you dare to peel back the layers of illusion? Do you make time to meditate, to awaken, to remember who you are? Because here's the raw truth: nobody's coming to open your cell. The guard isn't going to hand you the key. The system isn't going to suddenly decide to set you free. The key has always been inside you. It's been in your awareness, your consciousness, your choice, this entire time. Sometimes all it takes is one decision. One decision to say, I will not be a victim anymore. One decision to turn off the noise, step away from the distractions, and go within. One decision to choose love over fear, courage over doubt, awakening over sleep. That one choice shifts your vibration. That one choice begins the escape. That one choice changes everything. And here's the most exciting part. When enough of us make that choice, when millions of us decide not to live as prisoners anymore, the entire system begins to crumble. The prison walls only stand because we collectively believe in them. The moment enough people awaken, the prison collapses into a school, and the school transforms into something even greater, a planet of liberation, of unity, of paradise. That's why your awakening matters. Not just for you, but for humanity itself. So the question is not just, is Earth a prison planet? The real question is, how will you live? Will you live as a prisoner, repeating the same cycles until the day you die? Or will you live as a seeker, a warrior of consciousness, a soul who dares to break free and rise higher? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. And it will always be yours. So, is Earth really a prison planet? Maybe, maybe not, but what's undeniable is this. Something is keeping humanity small, asleep, and chained. And the only way out is into meditation, into truth, into the rediscovery of the infinite being that you already are. The prison doors are open. The question is, will you step out? If this message resonated with you, if it sparked something deep within you, then do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Mystic 11, and share this video with someone who's ready to wake up. Because the more of us who awaken, the less power the prison has. And together, we can transform Earth, not into a prison, not into a school, but into the paradise it was always meant to be. Stay conscious, stay awake, and I'll see you in the next video.